but
Yeah,
I must admit. Secret Wine Society in the studio. That should tell you there's something a little different about the Secret Wine Society when their theme music is AC/DC. But Dawn and Robert from the Secret Wine Society and Dawn digs that song for some reason. What is it? You move that microphone a little bit closer. What is it? Why is that your favorite song?
Let's bring the energy back.
It brings the energy back. Okay. All right.
It's either that or Vibrant. I think the song's way better.
All right.
So Bill, he did his morning toast to the 15 this morning with his coffee mug. I'm going to do the same thing with my wine glass. Here you go. That kind of
Nice.
There you go.
We're gonna need some sound effect.
You need to do it when you don't have the mic muff on the thing.
Yeah.
You need
Right,
that.
there you go.
Ting.
There you go, the ting.
Hey, we got to make that thing. I like that.
Yeah, that does have a nice. These are good wine glasses. They have a nice ring to them.
They are Gabriel glasses, and they are.
Oh, well.
That's the brand. But what's good about these? They're universal glasses. In other words, you drink any wine out of these instead of having $3,000 worth of glassware in your house. You buy these and you're good.
It's like Robert wearing
awesome.
the same T-shirt
Yeah,
every
it's like
day.
me wearing the same shirt every day, and you know, I could wear this at a wedding and everywhere. I mean, can you imagine that?
Well, I just like the fact that it's a Caterpillar shirt.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Well, thanks. Well, let me tell you what you got
supporting
in the glass.
American industry, by the way. And here is your piece of trivia from Caterpillar.
Uh-oh.
The very first diesel Caterpillar was created for a farmer in Tangent, Oregon, and was first used in Oregon. The very first diesel cat.
Wow.
Interesting.
There you go. There's a little Caterpillar trivia for you.
Pretty intense trivia.
That is actually digging deep, but I go to the Oregon Steam Up. I know these things. Okay, so the Secret Wine Society, for folks that don't know, is in lovely, historic Oakland, Oregon, down there in Doug County. You're off I-5 if you're headed south at exit 140. The Secret Wine Society is in this gorgeous old brick historic building, one of the largest, if not the largest, wine library in the state with wines from all over the world. And this morning you're starting off with one that comes from near
Sicily.
Yes,
Mount Etna?
Sicilian. This is from the Mount Etna DOC. So this is an active volcano. We were saying before the show, it actually just erupted 2 weeks ago, just a little over. But so they discovered that the soils around here, they're growing literally up the side of this volcano. Mm-hmm. So the grapes are different. So this is actually 100% Nerello Mascalese. And this area, so this kind of wraps around. If you see a map, it kind of wraps around in like a reverse C shape. These guys are on the northern slope, the northern side. And this is actually a single vineyard, Nerello Mascalese. So the winery was, it's Pietradolce. I think their stuff's fantastic. I think they started in 2005. They're on the northern slope, and this is what's called a Contrada wine, so it's like a single vineyard. Mm-hmm. And this one is called Santo Spirito. It's the 2017 Pietradolce Contrada Santo Spirito. I love this wine. They're calling this area basically the Burgundy of the Mediterranean. So you see how light this is in the glass? It's not super dark.
No, it's almost, I mean, it has an amber, it's red, but it has an amber, as I'm looking at it right here, it almost has an amber, if you're not in direct light, and I'll spit it out eventually, it has kind of an amber hint to it. I mean, it's red, but
it looks like a
in
Pinot Noir
indirect
in the
light,
glass, yes.
It's more, it has an amber kind of hue.
Yeah, so this has 6 years of bottle age, and it's going to look like a Pinot in the glass. In other words, it's not super dark. You can kind of see through it if you have bright light, but you're going to get minerality in here, which you don't get in a lot of Pinot Noirs. This is a fantastic wine. It's grown at, I think, like 900 meters, something like that.
It is definitely on the dry side.
Oh, yeah.
Which I have to admit does not hit my sweet spot.
Well, that's why we pour out cheese. So hold on, get the cheese quick.
Get a cheese quick.
Oh, do
Well,
we have
so-
cheese?
Yeah, we have a Nostrano.
So we have an
Cheese?
Italian cheese?
Yes, this is basically a Taleggio type cheese.
Oh, well, a
Wash dry.
Taleggio. Is it a stinky cheese? Because I love my stinky
So this
cheeses.
is
little bit.
Taleggio, and this
It's
is
aged.
the
Yeah, now the blue cheese will be
Blue
for later.
cheese.
We got a pork coming, so you want to save that for the pork.
Okay, if you say so.
But also notice how smooth this wine is.
I'm digging the cheese.
Like these tannins aren't grippy at all. You see what I'm saying? Like they don't cause this fur-like drying sensation. Or they're not super exuberant with the fruit. The minerality is what you're trying to wrap your brain around right now, because it's like, it's not quite tons of gobs of fruit coming out of the glass.
I'm not, and I'm very clear about this, and you and I have talked. I'm brutally honest about this. There are some dry wines that I can deal with. There are others that, and this is one of those that this does not hit my sweet spot. Talk about it, because there's a lot of people that love this kind of wine, and I understand that. This would not be something that I would ever ask for.
Right, we would call this a mineral-driven wine.
Okay, and I understand the minerality.
Yeah, so basically the fruit is dialed back. It's a little more reticent on the nose, but the smoothness is kind of Pinot-esque, but with a mineral layer. But anyway, so this is something that like the geeky people are drinking.
So in other words, us remedial people are not drinking
Well,
this.
it's a little geekier. I mean, nobody comes to the shop and asks for it, right?
Right.
But if they're drinking, let's put it this way. If somebody really loves Pinot Noir, you can move them sideways into Etna, and a lot of times they're like, well, you can watch when they put their nose in their glass, like, what just happened? So it's an adjustment even for people that are used to drinking a lot of Pinot Noir and are super into it. It's still, they go sideways. You can watch the reaction as soon as they smell it.
What would you, other than cheese, what would you pair this with?
Oh, geez. It'd take some red meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like not a T-bone, but some type of like a roast.
Mm-hmm.
Any type of red meat or even pork. It's kind of in the middle. It's not so massive. So we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Because we have 4 here. So I'll have my wife pour these. Go ahead and go around with this, the Cune. We're moving on to Tempranillo.
Oh, okay. I've had Tempranillos before.
Yeah, so this one, this is a Crianza Tempranillo from Rioja. So
where is Rioja?
Rioja's in Spain, and Crianza is a kind of a term you'll see on these bottles, and it actually, you have to age it for 2 years, at least 1 year in barrel, and then an additional year they usually do in bottle.
I like this.
Yeah, so this is...
I like this a lot.
Now the company, just call them Cune, but it's actually not a U, it's a V, but they messed up on an old label and kind of kept it. But the company is Compañía Vinícola de Norte España. Somebody's going to correct my pronunciation there, but... And these guys are from 1879, so they go way back, and they have a lot of really, really nice wines. But what I love about this one, so this is the Rioja Crianza, this is the 2019. These are meant to drink early. You know, then you'll get the Reservas, Grand Reservas with more barrel time, but these are designed to be on the market faster. Sometimes they tend to over oak them. These guys are using used oak, so some of these Crianzas, you'll put your nose in there and it just smells like vanilla, because they actually use a lot of American oak over there. But because they're using used barrels, it's not overly oaked and buttery. Some of these cheap ones can be, but this is the 2020 Cune Crianza. It's fantastic.
I agree with the vanilla, but it's also has kind of an earthy thing going for it that I really like.
Yeah, that's what these guys have done well. A lot of times you can get some cherry and stuff, but they've dialed that back. It's like darker profiled fruit, red and like darker, but they've just done a nice job of dialing it in. This is this wine is like...
This is really good.
It is good.
It's like,
and it has a dry hit to it, but not nearly like the other one.
And it's 21 bucks.
This is 21 bucks.
It is. It's a ridiculous deal.
Great value.
Whoa.
I mean, this is a go-to. I call them Tuesday wines. That's something my wife would let me take home on a Tuesday.
Mm. That's really tasty.
It is.
I like that. Looks good, smells great, tastes wonderful, and
it's got just enough tannin. Like, there's some grip on the back end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yeah.
you can kind of feel it. The acidity is good. Now, that's something, again, like, and it might be good next year or the year after that, but this is meant to drink now.
Okay.
They've got other stuff that's higher end that might age more. But this is meant to drink now, and it tastes fantastic. At that price point, I think it's a ridiculous deal.
and this would pair with a lot of different things.
Oh, yeah. You can, all kinds of, like, just imagine what you'd be eating in Spain right now with this.
It's only 21. Now, with the name of the company again?
It's got a super long name, but they use an acronym.
And the acronym is
CUNE or CVNE. Now, it looks like a U on the label, and it's kind of a, like I mentioned, they kind of messed up a label once and it got translated as a U somewhere, so I kind of went with it. But it's actually a V, but they just go with the U because of, you know.
Why do they call it a Crianza when it's a Tempranillo?
Yeah, so that's the thing with these, a lot of wines from Europe.
Is it because they're not from the Tempranillo
No, so
AVA or
Tempranillo
whatever?
would be the grape, but
Right.
in these areas, if it's a red and it's from Rioja, like almost, you can get other red grapes, but almost all of it's Tempranillo. If it's not, it'll tell you. But the Crianza is telling you the amount of time that they aged it.
Oh.
So it's not the youngest. There's one that's even younger, but it's more like really easy drinking. You could actually chill it, but Crianza is like the first step on the ladder for these Riojas. So they are required to do 1 year in barrel aging, and usually they'll do a year in bottle before they can release it. So it's 2 years total aging. But for the money, this is outstanding. So let's pour the next one here.
Okay, and I'm just going to say,
Yeah,
I know you said save the blue for the port. This goes well with it too.
Well, that blue cheese is made by a very famous producer, one of 7. He's a small family. It's considered one of the best out there.
What I notice about that is it really brings out a fruitiness in this particular wine. Usually, you know, it brings out different flavors in the food, but this to me, it makes the wine more fruity. I don't know if that sounds...
Yeah, there's the fruit in there. The food's good. That's the thing. Like a lot of these wines from Europe, they're actually designed for food.
Well, the Crianza is delicious, and for 21 bucks a bottle, yeah, that's I'm in.
Yeah, I'm into. So this
What do you think? What, Gary?
I like this one a lot better. The other one was a little dry, like you said, for me.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know.
Now, technically,
Tangy is the right word,
This is dry too, but the fruit is giving you the perception that it's less dry. If that makes sense.
I could drink this. Like, I'm
You're
not a
doing
big,
it right now.
I mean, yeah, but I could drink, you know, a glass
All right, so
and get
I could
through it.
drink a couple of glasses of this.
Or the
all right,
bottle.
so this. Give me a little more in here, would you please?
All right, so
this-
you know what? Let's take a quick break,
Okay.
and then we'll start the other half here. It is the Wake Up Call. It's News Radio 1120 KPNW. We're looking at 8:44. It is the Secret Wine Society joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning, and we're gonna get a second opinion on that first wine.
You need a
And
professional opinion.
I
here.
do. What now? For folks that are just tuning in, what was the first wine again?
Okay, the first one is it's a Mount Etna red based on Nerella Mascalese, the grape. The producer is Pietradolce, and this is a Contrada, which is a single vineyard, so you're going level up. And the single vineyard is Santo Spirito. It's a 2017, so we got just the right amount of bottle age.
Okay, and neither Gary nor I really liked this. I really didn't. And we bring in our radio station wino, His name is Dwayne, and he's actually our sales manager. And you get up to the mic there, Dwayne. God,
Okay.
how long have
All
you been in radio?
Oh,
And so, okay, you are somebody who really likes good wine. What is your opinion of this? Because Gary and I, neither one of us were into it. Your thoughts?
well, I don't know if you guys are wine drinkers, but this is obviously...
Oh, if you're not a wine drinker, you are a wine snob. Get the hell out of my studio. Get out of my studio.
Same one, better glass.
Same one, better glass? Okay.
Oh,
We're
See?
leveling up here.
Oh my, we're
Glass
ratcheting it up.
all
makes
right, just do it. Just drink it, Dwayne.
Yeah,
Presumptuous jerk.
I tell you what, some people's kids. Anyway,
Okay.
no, it is. It's lighter. You guys were talking about a Pinot Noir before. It's very smooth drinking, and it's nothing like anything you're going to find around here in the Willamette Valley.
Okay, the question is, do you like it?
Yes, very much so.
Do you like it better than a typical Pinot?
Well, I kind of grew up on Pinots as a small child, but no.
It's a completely, like you said, it
Different
doesn't taste like a Pinot.
It doesn't taste like a Pinot at all, but it's
But
it's
a
light.
Pinot person could move over to that.
Oh,
It's
yes.
like something different.
Yes.
Take a break from that, go back to that. Like I drink both, and
Yeah.
you'll start drinking more of that.
Okay, so there is your experienced wino version of what somebody who likes wine a lot and has tasted a lot and likes to go to wine tastings and do all that wine stuff, who I would refer to as a wine snob. And you dig it.
Yeah.
Well, the
no.
other thing would be price. Like to get a really solid Pinot, you got to pay a little bit of money. That's like 50 some bucks.
And how much is it for a bottle of this?
Like 55.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
All
like,
right.
Like, all right. Let's
Go ahead.
Let's move on to
Finish
this
your
one.
thought. Finish your thought.
Saying like to get a good Pinot for 55 is getting harder.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
the same one.
Yeah, the same.
Okay. Oh.
We got-
Yeah, fill it up there, Dwayne. Go ahead and fill it up there, Dwayne. Dwayne's just reaching over and
Well,
grabbing more wine.
It is
All right.
almost 9 o'clock, isn't it?
All right, I'm
Yeah,
gonna roll.
okay,
We're
all
in
right.
Italy right now.
Our next wine is, and this, by the way, I have no idea what this is, but I like this. This is good.
So this is an Italian Super Tuscan. So this is on the coast. This would be
Oh, man.
in like basically South Tuscany on the Tyrrhenian coast. So this is basically the west coast. And it's a Bordeaux blend actually. So that's why they call it a Super Tuscan. They've got the lowest designation on here, just says basic Tuscan wine. So this blend is 40%, let's see, 20% Merlot, Syrah 45, Cab Sauv 7, and then they've got a couple of Cab Franc 13 and then some other indigenous varietals. 40% used French barriques, the rest is stainless. This is the 2021 Insoglio del Cinghiale. Cinghiale, you see that little dude on the front?
Yeah.
That's basically wild boar in their
Yeah.
local dialect. And Solio is like the place where they roam. This
Oh.
is epic.
This is, I'll be honest, you brought a couple of cheeses here. I like this way better without the cheese. The cheese was like, oh, well, it kind of ruined the wine. I don't know why, but for me, it was, okay, Dwayne, quickly, what do you think of it?
Very good. Bordeaux blend, right? So it's, again, easy to drink, but there's probably not too many wines that aren't easy to drink for me, but no,
Yeah,
I
this
really
is
like
just-
it. And what's the price point on that?
This runs in the 40s.
40s?
I was telling him some of this is like a baby Super Tuscan, but you get into Sassicaia and stuff, those could be $2.50 a bottle. This is
Gary.
a nice introduction to those.
This is
Your
great.
thoughts?
If I'm being overall honest, I don't like the cheese at all.
Which
at all.
one?
But I'm not a big cheese guy.
Is the
Get the hell out of my studio. Who hired you?
No, you can have it actually.
Oh, man.
He's not too cheesy. All right,
See,
I'm not a big
love-
cheese guy.
I love cheese.
I'm really
all right
not.
well, wait till you try this. So
Okay.
The stinkier, the better. If it doesn't smell like
That's mine.
armpits
All right.
and gym socks, it's not a good cheese.
All right,
That's my
Can we
thought.
have time for this little port? This
Yeah.
is, So this is Taylor Fladgate
Okay.
First Estate Reserve Ruby Port.
Ooh.
So Taylor Fladgate was one of the, and it says
We have a lot of
1692.
hits here recently, crossed over from country.
We're flying all over the world. One more glass and we'll all be flying, right? Let's,
Gary got what I was going after there. Everybody else is ignoring me.
Yeah.
this is, in my opinion, the best ruby port that I've ever had in the shop. And the reason is it's got tannic structure. You can find ruby ports at Safeway, but there's zero structure. The reason this is good, it says First Estate, when Taylor Fladgate, see, England was,
Wow.
yeah, England was selling wool
Wow.
in Portugal. So they were and that's why you see the label where it says 4XX on it.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, they were selling wool, and that was branded on the bales of wool, and then they would go back with wine.
I guess
I think
that's
it's a good
your
trade.
favorite of the day.
Here's some stinky wool. Give me some port. That's a pretty good trade.
This is like a popsicle.
Okay. With that blue cheese, which is phenomenal.
Gary, do you
This
need blue
is-
cheese? I know you don't like cheese, but
This
I
is-
think
I'll take a
This
little piece
is
of blue cheese.
bliss.
It is.
With the blue cheese. It is, because you got the
It's
the port sweetness and this
Did you get a piece
blue
of that?
cheese, which is
it's the
heavenly.
best combo in the world. You got to try
It
that.
is absolutely
That blue cheese.
off the
Port is
hook.
epic.
Oh my
It
god!
is. So this ruby port is the best one I think on the market that I've ever tasted.
Mm.
It's $30 or less usually.
That's all.
Exactly. It's tremendous.
You will pay more for the cheese than you're paying for the port.
Yeah, most ports are not that.
No.
Wow.
And if
What do you think? Say it out loud. Get up to the mic.
Yes,
God.
okay, get up to the mic.
Say
No,
it. Come on, quick.
I'm not a port drinker, but this is very, very good. And for that price point, I don't think you're gonna.
He's
Nothing's-
talking price points.
Yep.
We have 1 minute. Okay, let's go through these real quickly. The first one,
2017 Pietradolce, that's a Mount Etna Contrada Santo Spirito.
second one that Gary
Second
and I
one
both
was
like.
the Cune or CVNE Rioja Crianza 2019. Nice Tempranillo from Spain.
Awesome.
$21.
Loved it.
Third one is a mini Super Tuscan from Maremma, so it's basically Tuscany on the coast,
Easy to eat without
but
a
it's
drink
French
without food.
varietals. It's got this little wild boar on the front.
Delicious.
It's really good, ages well too.
and the
And the
port.
last one is the best ruby port that we've ever had in the shop. It's got good structure, fantastic.
Okay, get down to the Secret Wine Society in Oakland, Oregon this weekend. They're going to be open, of course. See them